Love and light, everyone. Welcome to A Healer's Musings, where I bring you healing, energy healing, and all the things that go along with it. I'm Reiki Reverend. You can find my services at reikireverend.com, or you could just sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast. So, a few things I want to cover before I get too deep into it. I have a brand new website, and it's the same link, just an entirely new website. That's reikireverend.com. The changes I have made are pretty heavy. You now have a forum. You now have a lot of different opportunities to get in touch with me. If you're a student, you'll have a lot. It's really difficult to isolate how much I have planned for this coming few months. This coming few months. I've got a marketplace planned out. I've got just a good number of things to where people who learn from me will be able to do so much more with themselves and really just start practicing. Not just practice, but start practicing in terms of their career, their goals of being a spiritual healer or an energy healer, whatever you may want to do. If it's service-based, then I can help you out. My big goal this time around is to make sure that I do everything in my power to make that happen. So if you have a desire to learn from me, if you want to get help or insight, some spiritual life coaching, you're more than welcome to check out reikireverend.com. In any case, free Reiki. Isn't that crazy? So, a little bit of how I came about this. I was scratching my head and I was trying to work out exactly how I wanted to start this next set of episodes for Healer's Musings. And it just kind of came to me. Like, I've always wanted to do free coursework. I've always wanted to kind of just help people out who weren't really able to help themselves in terms of affording my courses, afford services, afford a teacher for that matter. So I'm going to teach you anyway. Just sit back and relax. Isn't that great? If you're joining me live, please feel free to hit me up on the chat. I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions related to energy healing or Reiki in general, just let me know and I'll do my best to answer them in a timely enough manner. So let's go ahead and dive right in. The Reiki manual I have that I'm going to be reading from and kind of just going off the Richter with is based on a Reiki healer's toolkit. And this toolkit I make available to all my students when they reach Reiki 3. And that's just to help enhance the quality that they're able to give to others. I don't want to kind of leave them high and dry. I would much rather them have access to material where they're able to edit it, put it in their own words, and present it to people in a way that best suits them. In any case, we're going to start off with the obvious. May not be obvious to you, but it should be obvious to a lot of people out there. The disclaimer. Now, many people don't really read these things, but if you look at the Reiki manual, at least the one I'm given in particular, it goes pretty heavy into ethics at some points. And ethics are a very important part of practice, no matter what you're doing. You want to make sure you're doing it in the way that's right for you, in a way that's right for your client or your recipient, in a way that's going to keep you from getting into serious trouble. And so I'm going to go ahead and read that. Reiki is an ancient form of healing that is practiced by myself and numerous others all around the world. The information and techniques in this manual that I'm presenting to you do not constitute medical advice. I will repeat that again. The techniques are not medical advice. As much as we would love to help you out with your failed tests or your, interesting happenings, or even that weird feeling you get in your gut, I can't do that for you. And I make light of this, but it's a very serious situation. I am not a medical practitioner. I do not operate in a clinic. So if you have anything going on with you, and for anyone in that matter, if you have something going on with you and you're not getting help, please reconsider. Please get help. It's very important. So, healing and medicine are considered in most places two very different practices. You should always remember to seek medical advice from a qualified doctor or practitioner in the case of serious illness, and that is no joke. If you don't, you could end up further along creek and really end up doing a lot of harm to yourself, or forbid, do a lot of harm to others. So please, please, please seek medical attention if you are in need. While all suggested treatments are offered in good faith, the author and publisher, myself, anyone else who I teach, anyone who's practicing Reiki, we're not responsible for any illness arising of failure to comply with these very simple but profound ideas. So basically the purpose of this entire mini course, or course, however you want to consider it, is to give you guys a step-by-step guide to the healings and teachings associated with first degree Usui Reiki. I've purposefully kept the information concise, and throughout my explanations you'll see just how to the point it can get, so that the reader can quickly, or the listener can quickly easily understand and apply Reiki. Wherever possible, I've avoided using personal beliefs. I'm really going to try hard to do that may differ from the traditional teachings. The knowledge and information contained is based on the original Shiki-Ryoho method of healing developed by Mikao Usui over 200 years ago. If you desire to use these teachings to heal yourself or others, you must first have received the necessary attunements from a Reiki master, either in person or via distance attunement. I offer distance attunements online through ReikiReverend.com, and anyone who listens to the entirety of these podcasts is eligible for 40% off of the course. So keep tuning in. You're really going to enjoy this. We're going to be covering all different types of things today. Reiki, the Universal Life Force. We're going to cover an introduction. What is Reiki? What exactly is Reiki? How Reiki works, the history of Reiki, we're going to leave out for another time. And moving forward, the other things like the Reiki principles, preparing for Reiki 1, preparing for the attunement. I'm going to leave all that until later on in the set. So let's dive in. Reiki is the gift of vitality and self-preservation encoded into the genetic makeup of all of the creatures in the universe. It is higher self's connection to the universal energy that breathes life into all living things. We're born with the omniscient wisdom to heal and preserve life. It just comes in us like that. Like, we just come out of the gate with the ability to heal. I don't care what anyone tells you, what anyone says. They're firm-held beliefs that you have to receive X, Y, and Z. You have to be a special indigo child born under a blue moon. I don't care. You can heal. You can heal. Doesn't matter. However, what does matter is how you go about healing. How you go about presenting your energy, and how you go about defending your energy against any type of, we're not going to say dark arts here, but we're going to say defending your energy in general. Our ancestors used and relied on our own abilities and instincts, on their own abilities and instincts. Unfortunately, these basic skills have been forgotten and are rarely used today. Humanity, in its relentless ambition for progress, has given up on its most precious and natural gift. Through media and the clever advertising campaigns, the postulation of cookie-cutter campaigns, copy and paste it, either way you cut it, we've learned to rely on this media in one way, shape, or form. I mean, even when you go on Facebook or any of your social media platforms, we're looking for that data. Whether we know it or not, it's a survival instinct. We're just built like that. We look for the data. And this is so much different than how it used to be, where we were just constantly present, constantly in the moment, ready for anything that could possibly happen. Our survival instincts have dwindled, and that's a fact. However, there is a need for humanity to become rebalanced, for us to readapt, grow back our lost appendages, so to speak. Instead of giving up responsibility for one's life and health, it's vitally important to regain equilibrium between ancient and modern technology. And Reiki can do this. Reiki is the catalyst. Many people believe when you're ready to embrace the principles that you're guided to a teacher. I personally believe, personal belief, shocker, warning, that Reiki, its infinite wisdom and unconditional love, seeks out the person when they need it the most. Reiki will come to you when you need it the most. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You can sit back on your couch and enjoy that cup of coffee because Reiki is coming to you. Be ready. Oh wait, you're already here. Welcome. Reiki, the universal life force. There are a bunch of different types of energies that give life to every living organism. But there's one in particular, universal life force. For many thousands of years, we have known this energy and sought to develop ways to harness its power and heal and influence our lives. The Japanese call this ki. It is also known as ki by the Chinese, chi. Brought up by a number of Asian cultures, and the Holy Spirit or Holy Ghost by most of the modern Western world. We carry this energy around in our bodies from the moment we're conceived. Science has established its existence. They're actually saying it exists, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't it crazy? With the aid of Kirlian photography, we're able to see this energy that encompasses all things. Ancient Eastern cultures have harnessed and applied this energy for healing since before the birth of Jesus Christ. Many successful disciplines such as Reiki, Tai Chi, Feng Shui, meditation, yoga, acupuncture, you name it, it's there. They've all been developed to learn, study, and control, and greatly enhance this flow of energy in around the body. No matter what you're doing with yourself and healing, eventually it comes back to the universal life force. Just impossible to circumvent that. The energy itself is pure and has omniscient wisdom. Omniscient is a term, for those who don't know, that means all-seeing. All-knowing. Well, you get what I'm saying. There are 10 major things, 10 big ideas that will weaken life force energy quicker than you can even gasp for air. And that's a pun, in case you didn't get it. Too much alcohol. So if you drink too much, if you're eating McDonald's a lot, if you aren't really sitting out there, and that's poor diet, by the way. If you just have a poor diet in general, it's not going to work out for you too well energy-wise, and you can probably already tell. A lack of exercise, same thing. Drugs, same thing, and that'll ruin your brain. Tobacco, same thing. And negative habits, same thing. Stress, same thing. Poor breathing, same thing. Are you getting tired yet? Lack of sleep or rest. Oh, there you go. Negative psychic activity, number 10. Number 1 thing on my itinerary to just take a note. Psychic activity. Negative psychic activity. Meaning, if you're trying to read Jimbo's mind, if you're trying to sit there and throw a ball at Jimbo, if you're trying to, more practical, if you're trying to sit there and spit fire at somebody for no forsaken reason, that's a psychic attack, believe it or not. They're all things that will weaken or dampen your ability to naturally channel energy. Now, this isn't to say, oh my gosh, all those things talk about me. Maybe not number 10, but all those things talk about me. Don't worry about it. And I'm telling you not to worry about it simply because it doesn't matter as much as your attitude. A quote that actually popped up on my newsfeed today. Your attitude will affect the altitude of your success, of your career. And that's a quote by Tyrese Gibson. If you don't know Tyrese Gibson, he's the guy from Fast and the Furious. I mean, he can't be too far off if he's driving cars around at Mach 10. But anyway, not really. But in any case, on a most serious note, if you are doing any of these things that are harmful to your energy, just understand that they are going to negatively impact your ability to channel. And before continuing on with this course, I would strongly recommend that you, in the very least, try to reduce one. Try to take one out, just reduce it. Stop going to McDonald's. Don't drink as much alcohol. Drugs are bad and cully. I mean, it's pretty simple stuff, but the results will be profound. You'll notice a difference right away. You may not notice it when you're sick. You may not notice it when you're, going through it pretty badly, but you'll notice. Humanity has become fragmented and hollow. We are only a shadow of what we could be. We need to go back to go forward once more. By practicing the discipline of Reiki, you regain your natural abilities to heal yourself, to heal other people, and knowledge you require to lead a happier, more fulfilling life. Nature's life-giving energy is great and wise. By pursuing its wisdom through Reiki, you will grow to new heights of understanding, and life will flow at a more enjoyable and exciting pace. That is to say, if you study the flow of energy, if you study how it operates, how it works, if you operatively practice energy healing on yourself, on others, the channel is all the same. It's still going through you. It's still working on you. Don't worry, it's there. Alright? As I live and breathe, it's there. More on that later. Remember that always that this life-giving energy is a gift from higher power, a gift from source, a gift from whoever created us, a gift from dad, a gift from mom, a gift from grandpa. Because let's face it, without grandpa, we're not going to be here for sure. Everyone possesses this gift. It's our birthright. And everyone uses it daily, even though they don't even realize they're doing so. When a child falls, for instance, and hurts their knee, yeah, it's gonna suck, and you're almost instinctively going to place your hand, or they're almost instinctively going to place their hand right there on their knee. Like, ow! You see that episode of Family Guy where where Peter just falls over and busts his knee and just, holds it for a good couple minutes? That's exactly what I'm talking about here. He instinctively places their hands on their knee, or on their sore spot, and the pain's relieved as they unconsciously work with this energy to heal themselves. Likewise, a parent will kiss their child's hurt or injured limb better and place their hand on top. That's healing. Believe it or not, that's healing. I mean, let's face it. When you were 5 and you busted yourself up, where's the first place you went? Mom, Dad, Grandpa, Grandma, Uncle, Sister, Toby? Not really Toby. Toby didn't care, but get what I'm saying. Unknowingly, both the parent and child are working unconsciously with this healing energy. The parent sending and channeling the energy, the child receiving and drawing the energy. All of a sudden it becomes better. The feeling of pain evaporates. Whoa, whoosh, it's gone. Isn't that crazy? But it works. It's true. I've seen it happen. I've done it myself with my son. It happens. This world, this wonderful energy is free. Absolutely free. As free as this course right here. There are no patents or copyrights attached. You can't get sued for trying to heal somebody with your energy. It's not going to happen. All you need is the desire and discipline to attune yourself to the energy and its life-changing properties. So, what is this mystical force called Reiki? Hold on, I'm getting there. Reiki is a form of hands-on healing with its origins in India and the East, dating back many thousands of years to the time before Christ and Buddha. The original name, disciplines, and techniques of Reiki were lost due to the traditional passing of knowledge from generation to generation by word of mouth. Basically because great grandpa Festus told great grandma Anise that Reiki was as true as I live and breathe, then yes, eventually that's going to lose its way down the telephone line. That's just what happens. Exactly when this ancient art disappeared is difficult to determine. However, we do know that it was rediscovered by a Japanese scholar and monk by the name of Dr. Mikao Usui. It was, in fact, Dr. Usui who fashioned the name Reiki. Rei means universal. Ki means life force. Reiki is a two-syllable Japanese word meaning universal life force. Although the proper pronunciation is Rei-ki, it has been westernized to, well, let's just go ahead and bust them out. Let's go ahead and bust them out. I've heard Reiki. I've heard Ricky. I've heard... if you've heard anything else, please feel free. Leave so in the comments. Let me know. I would like to know. I must know. It's my mission. Just kidding. But it's pronounced Rei-ki. Think about it as a Rei and then a key. Unlocking that Rei. Boom. Mind blown. Rei means universal, omnipresent, present everywhere at the same time. Esoterically, Rei means spiritual consciousness, the omniscient wisdom from God or from the higher self. Ki is the non-physical vitality that gives life to all living things. Many cultures understand and recognize the importance of Ki and how it impacts our lives and well-being. Ki energy can be activated for the purpose of healing. When you feel healthy, full of enthusiasm, the flow of Ki in your body is high and unencumbered. You're great. You're on cloud 10. Life feels and seems a lot easier to deal with, and you have a higher resistance to illness and disease. I mean, let's face it. If you're smiling all day long, when are you going to frown? It's that simple. However, when your Ki is low because you have a lot of stress going on, you're unhappy, you're tired, you're going to end up more susceptible to illness, disease, sickness, or discomfort, as I like to refer to it. Your attitude will generally be more negative. I mean, you're going to be salty about the fact you're not feeling good. And because you're salty about the fact that you're not feeling good, you're going to find it pretty difficult to deal with life's challenges. Ki is the very essence of the soul. It leaves the body when a person dies. That's it. It's there until death. You've already signed up. You're already married. Guess what you're married to? Breath. Air. As I live and breathe. Boom. Reiki is holistic. It works on the body, mind, and spirit by stimulating a person's own natural healing abilities, which means that how you come into this world can improve. It can improve, which means you are capable of change. And let's just take a sidebar here and say that if you're going through a rough time right now, if you're experiencing a lot of hurt, trauma, discomfort, I'm here to help. My students are here to help. If there is anything I can possibly do for you, just let me know. Send me a message or just write out a heartfelt comment or write out a heartfelt post in the forums and I'll get right to you. The blocked emotional and physical elements that lead to illness and disease are cleared with Reiki. Reiki is neither positive nor negative. It's totally neutral. Totally neutral. Now, I'll get into that in a second. It is, in fact, the highest and most profound vibration of life. Divine in origin allows us all to become one with all things alive in our world. Reiki is pure, unconditional love and joy, bringing all who experience and embrace its principles together in total harmony. The skills and techniques associated with Reiki are simple and easy to learn. Even small children and adults, adults, can equally comprehend and incorporate this ancient form of healing into their lives. Regular contact with Reiki will bring recipients mind, body, and spirit into balance, into harmony. It will also prevent future creation of illness and disease. Now, sidebar. Like all things in life, there are good, there are bad. They're easily manipulable, they're very difficult to manipulate elements in this world. Reiki being so simple, being so easy to tweak, manipulate, alter, whatever. The mindset of your channel, anyone, doesn't even matter if it's me, anyone who is influencing their energy has the ability to alter its vibration, which means that if you've been getting a Reiki practitioner from Joe, if you've been getting Reiki from Joe and Joe's been having a pretty bad day, guess what's going to happen to you? You're probably going to end up feeling a little bit of that salt. It's just going to sprinkle right out of there and it's going to hit your forehead and you're just going to feel a little different. Now, that little different may not do much to you, but it could magnify. So, very important thing I'm going to note for you. Do not receive energy from anyone who has a messed up mindset. Don't do it. It's very, very interesting for your life if you decide to do that. It'll get very, very interesting for you and your well-being if you decide to do that. Especially if they've been under the influence of any hard drugs, if they're very messed up person in general, and that's not to overgeneralize somebody and say that they're a really messy individual. We all know who I'm talking about here. I mean, you insert character B in there and that could very well be them. And bless their heart, I have nothing against them, but I am not letting them influence my energy, and I will just go walk in the opposite direction from them. I won't let them touch me. It's not going to happen. You can have the ugliest look on your face and be the best person in the world, and I will feel that right off the bat. But I am not going to allow you to influence my energy if you look and feel salty. Not going to happen. So, that all being said, manipulation of energy is a thing. Reiki is neutral, neither good nor bad. The ability to alter or shift the intentions behind Reiki is a very real thing. Some people can go in with the purest intentions when it comes to Reiki. I'm going to heal the world. Well, how are you going to heal the world if no one knows of you, if no one comes to you? So you know what you do? You pour a little bit of sugar on that energy and you just let them taste the sweetness, and it just ends up magnifying their desires and their intentions to come to you, and it's just a really messed up situation. That's totally negative psychic activity, and that's totally a reduction of energy. But you still like it though, so you go back. And you go back, and you go back, and finally you wonder why you're so drained, but you're going to this Reiki practitioner who has sworn up and down they're going to help you with your problem, and you've been seeing them at this point for years, so why not go one more time? I'll tell you why. Well, it's already implied. You already know why. I'll stop talking about it. Moving on. How Reiki works. The human body is made up of over 50 trillion cells. That's a lot. Each cell has omniscient wisdom and is connected to the universe and every living thing in it. Whoa. So let's unpack that. Every single ounce of your essence, every bit of who you are, is connected to the universe. Think about it as like so many different feelers, all experiencing the same thing. It's kind of like, what, a collective consciousness? It might be. But a good analogy to think about it on a more simplistic scale is a huge ocean of water. Every living thing within that ocean is like a teeny droplet. We're all parts of a whole here. Together these droplets make up and are a part of Reiki, the universal life force. Reiki is a part of our genetic structure. It has a built-in intelligence that energizes the body, mind, and spirit. It stimulates growth, health, life, and healing. When it's freely allowed to flow around the body, it can keep us alive and healthy for so many years. Unfortunately, we're human. So, our flow of Reiki is going to be stifled at some point. You're eventually going to have a really bad day. You're going to feel a certain way. You're going to decide, I'm not dealing with XYZ anymore. Blockage set. And then a few years later, you throw away the key because you've totally forgotten about it. You never let it go, but you've totally forgotten about it. How do I know? Because people come to me. Even today, childhood blockages, childhood traumas, issues beyond comprehension or common comprehension. And that's all due to that lock and key mechanism that we all have. We want to be away from the bad thing that's hurting us. We want to let it go, or we want to just never talk about it again. And it's important to unpack this stuff. It's important to talk about this stuff. Even if it's not with me, talk about it with somebody. It could be a random guy on the street. I forbid random person on the street, but you never know. I mean, you might find a good person on the street, might just have a conversation, and it might come up. Hey, you mind if I dump something on you real quick? Maybe not like that. But you get what I'm saying. Even when we die and the life force leaves our body, it continues to exist as a part of the universe. Through neglect and ignorance, we abuse this vital component of life. When the body, mind, and spirit are in harmony, the biological intelligence that governs the body's resources and allows it to heal itself and function correctly are intensified. Basically, if you act within a certain alignment, your vibration changes. And that's called entrainment, by the way. So let's unpack entrainment. Entrainment is basically it's the side-by-side clock effect. And if you are, forget my verbiage, if you're a millennial and you don't know what one of those wind-up clocks are, or one of those little metronome clocks are, it's pretty simple concept to understand, so I'll break it down for you real quick. You have two metronomes. Those are the little sticks that flow left and right. You have two of those, and we can even do this experiment at home. So go ahead and try this. Hold up your left and your right hand. Your left and your right arm. Just hold them up, elbows to the air, and then swing your arms. Now, if you notice, one arm may go a little faster than the other one, but eventually you're going to get tired and you're going to stop paying attention. And then pretty soon, they're both going to flow at exactly the same rate. That's what I'm talking about. Entrainment. So when your vibration's high and you're near somebody with a similar vibration, you're going to raise their vibration. You're going to boost them up. Your good mood is going to affect everyone around you and make them feel better. Similarly, if you're in a bad mood, this is why a lot of bad mood people isolate, you end up affecting other people's energies. And similarly, if we talk about law of attraction, you end up manifesting more opportunities to feel bad. Because you feel so bad, you end up manifesting more opportunities to feel bad. So isn't that weird? So their best bet there is to kind of shift it or alter it and do your best to correct your mood or calm your mood. Ease your mood. That's a better one. Ease your mood. So don't think about the guy who just flipped you off on the street. Don't think about the person who just kicked you to the curb. Think about flowers. How awesome they are. Just take a moment. Let's just take a moment for flowers. Just absorb. Think of your favorite one. It can be a rose. If you don't like roses, it can be a petunia. If you don't like petunias or don't know what they are, it's kind of weird. Think about grass. Grass is a plant. Some grasses look like flowers. So just sit there and absorb that moment. Be in that moment. Allow your mood to shift. Your energy to alter. Allow yourself to ground. Breathe. And then all of a sudden you feel a little better, huh? Isn't that crazy? Many cultures have developed techniques and disciplines that stimulate the flow of ki around the body. However, Reiki is, once again, the easiest to learn and administer. So essentially, during a session, and by the way, a person normally needs about 4 of these, contrary to popular belief, needs about 4 of these to start really regulating the changes that have happened within their bodies, minds, and spirits. Um, Essentially, the Reiki session works on the 7 main energy centers of the body that control and govern the flow of universal life force. They're called chakras, for those people who aren't familiar with it. Chakras are responsible for supplying energy to specific parts of the body, like your brain, your organs, your arms, your legs. Think about it like this. You got a car with an engine, right? And the engine supplies power to the car. Well, not so much like a battery, but you get what I'm saying. So, actually, let's use the battery. That's a good example. So, your chakras are all engines, constantly flowing, constantly going, pushing energy throughout the body in various waves, in various rates, to best enact whatever you're trying to do. Let's say riding a bike. If you're trying to ride a bike, your chakras are all in alignment with you riding that bike. Every single chakra, all 7, are in alignment with what you're doing in the present moment. And then you might have that one, like your crown chakra, that's thinking about later on in the day. Your third eye chakra, which is thinking way farther out in the year. But you get what I'm saying? They're all working, they're all going. Well, what's powering these? Energy. That's your battery, right? So, you have energy powering your chakras, and energy is universal life force. So you have universal life force powering you at all times, powering your chakras at all times. Now, I'll take it back and say that universal life force is powering you. How do you feel about that? Now does this start making a little bit more sense? So when you're in the realms of a Reiki session and you're receiving healing from somebody and they're working on your chakras, they're not just, throwing a band-aid over it. It's not like there's some severe surgery going on, some serious stuff where they're like, all right, let's isolate and cut open the heart chakra. Let's go ahead and split her up. Let's go ahead and apply gauze. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you got to do in there. You're not really doing that. What you're doing is you're supplying energy to the chakra to let it fix itself. The energy goes through and stimulates the chakras, which then go through and stimulate the body's immune system and natural healing capabilities. So your chakras already know what to do for you. They already know. They've been with you for X amount of years, so why not? Why wouldn't they know, right? So if I give you a jump, if I give your battery a jump to give your body a boost, to keep it going a lot better with Reiki, then that's a healing session right there, cut and dry. There isn't a lot of spectacular things that happen outside of a healing session other than just that. Well, inside of a healing session other than just that. The resupplying and balancing of this energy. So once you got the energy, you have to kind of help it along, right? You don't just want a bunch of energy in your feet chakra or in your, it's going a little farther up, in your root chakra, because then that'll create an imbalance. So if you're receiving a Reiki session, ideally the Reiki practitioner or the Reiki master, however you want to phrase it, is going through each individual chakra to assess, align, and balance each chakra. That way, it's able to flow. The body, mind, and spirit are able to flow and go a lot more effectively. So let's cover the major chakra points. Like I said, there are 7. So if you got your pen and paper out, we'll go ahead and do that. If you don't, we're going to take a brief break, put on some decent tunes, or, you can listen to the one thing, and, just grab your pen and paper. You're going to want to listen to this. I'll be right back. And we're back. So, got your pen and paper out yet? Good deal. So we're going to go through the seven chakras. So, we're going to start at the top. That is to say, the top of your head. Right above your head. If you just take your hand and just flow it nice and gentle across your scalp there, and then raise it about 2 to 3 inches. Some people might say about 6 or more. And if you don't feel it yet, you will soon. Keep raising your hand up ever so much, little bit at a time, almost there. Okay. And so that's your crown chakra. Now, generally speaking, most people perceive it as white or violet. It represents enlightenment, intuition, and spiritual vision. Energy supplied to the pineal glands. That's the teeny little peanut, well, thanks to the fluoride. Teeny little peanut in your brain, right there in the center. Your upper brain, your left and your, not your left, and your right eye. So you have the pineal glands, the upper brain, and the right eye. That's your crown chakra. Your third eye chakra. Now we're going to take your finger, your index finger, very important, index finger, and I want you to poke right there in between your eyebrows until you start feeling a little itch. That's your third eye chakra. It's saying, please stop. That generally is visualized as indigo, and it's positioned in the middle of your forehead, just like you felt. It represents psychic perception, telepathy, and ESP. That's extrasensory perception, which means like all your psychic abilities, like telepathy and all that good stuff, that all comes from your third eye. So if you want to be able to see the cool stuff, that's why all the people are talking about third eye alignments and all that good, crazy stuff that people like to do with their third eye. It represents, it supplies energy to the spine, the lower brain, the left eye, the pituitary gland, the nose, the ears, and the central nervous system. Next is your throat chakra. Now, I don't need to tell you where to put your hand at to feel your throat chakra. You kind of should know where your throat is. That's generally visualized as light blue. It's positioned in the center of the neck, and it represents self-expression, emotions, communication, and creativity. Energy supply to the throat, the thyroid gland, upper lungs, arms, and digestive tract. Now, if you're unfamiliar with some of these glands, I'll cover it later on in the manual or in the podcast set, so just stay tuned for that. The heart chakra. Once again, fairly simple. That's generally visualized as rose and green. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the term visualize, that simply means to see it in your mind. It's positioned in the middle of your chest. It represents emotions, love, devotion, spiritual growth and compassion, the energy supply to the heart, the thymus gland, the liver, the lungs, and the circulation system. Next up is your solar plexus chakra. Now that's yellow. Your solar plexus is right beneath your rib cage. You ever get tapped there really good and you're just running out of breath really quick? Well, it's right there. That one spot. It's positioned just above the navel, and it represents the center of the body. It's where your food is assimilated and turned into energy and distributed throughout the body. the energy supply to your emotional center, your stomach, your liver, your digestive tract, your gallbladder, and your pancreas. Next up is the sacral chakra, and that's positioned just below the navel. It represents sexual energy, perceptions, and first impressions of people. Energy supply to the reproductive glands, the legs, and all your other glands. Well, not all your other glands, some of your other glands. The root chakra, which is generally visualized as red. By the way, the sacral is generally visualized as orange, if I haven't said it. The root chakra represents life, physical vitality, birth, and creation. Energy supply to the kidneys, bladders, and supranatal glands. Reiki is ever present in our bodies. As I live and breathe. Now you get it. It means anyone can harness this profound inbuilt intelligent energy for healing. However, without being attuned, you might heal pretty alright, but you won't be healing but for about 10 to 20% of your capacity. That is to say, your capacity, not Jim's capacity that we talked about earlier, not Mickey's capacity, who is just like, oh my gosh, super healer. We're talking about your capacity here. And that all has to do with the 10 things I listed earlier about things that can influence or inhibit the flow of energy. It also has to do with your general disposition, your attitude. It also has to do with your practice of this type of thing. So some people are just natural. Some people are natural healers. And you'll be told, more likely in a reading, because that just happens, that you're a healer. And that's what that means. That your capacity for understanding the healing energies that flow in and around you are pretty spiffy. Otherwise, if you fall into the other category, there's nothing wrong. You just gotta start. You gotta start practicing. You gotta break some of those habits. You gotta do some different things with your life that are going to be a positive change. If this is really what you want to pursue, and I mean really want to pursue, then those changes are minuscule. They don't mean anything. They're just necessary steps along the path. And all you have to do, the longest path ever known to man, was first trekked when the individual took their first step. Madame Takata explained it best when she described Reiki as being similar to radio waves. We cannot see them, but we know they are everywhere around us. When we turn on a radio and tune into radio waves, we can pick up a signal. That signal is then turned into a radio program. Similarly, the universal life force is everywhere. Although we can't see it unless we use Kirlian photography or some kind of weird fancy thing that might exist on the internet by now, who knows. When we're tuned into the energy by a Reiki master, that is to say, when we're attuned, we are able to harness Reiki to heal ourselves and others a lot more effectively. Addendum. This gift of healing remains with us for the rest of our lives. We only lose it if we use it for negative or destructive purposes. Reiki is pure in general and needs to be treated as such. That is to say, Reiki in itself is pure. But if we go into the specifics, of course, I just covered ethics earlier. You understand how weird this can get when it comes to practicing Reiki and being an improper channel. That's the best term I can come out with. That's the most professional term. Being an improper channel for Reiki, or an improper practitioner, or just an uncouth person in general. Reiki is channeled through the hands, most generally. When you place your hands on your body or the body of another person for the purpose of healing, that means the second you tell yourself, okay, self, I'm going to heal, the healing begins. You connect with universal life force. The wisdom of Reiki goes to work to bring about healing and balance wherever is needed on a holistic level. But let me say that the best way to know how Reiki works is to experience it. So, without further to say, let's experience it. I'm gonna go ahead and hold space for just a few moments before I end the show. And I really want you guys to just do your best to relax. And just accept the energy in all its magnificence for what it is. That's all. Just observe. And if you are resistant to healing at this time, I totally understand. Reiki may not work for you at that point. Any resistance you give will influence or inhibit the flow of energy. So, if you want this to work for you, I mean really want it to work for you, just be open. Just say to myself, self, I am open and willing to receive Reiki in full love and light. That means without any hindrances or any resistance, in the sense that the energy is pure. So, let's go ahead and just take a few deep breaths. In through the mouth. And out through the mouth. In through the mouth. And out through the mouth. In through the mouth. And out through your nose. In through your nose. And out through your mouth. Now just sit in a nice, comfortable position or lay, whichever is your preference. And I want to say, just before I start, that it has been amazing starting this journey with you. If you like this podcast, please subscribe and continue on the journey with me. This session is dedicated to Phyllis Ray Furumoto. May she continue to bless our lives in full love and light. Calling all angels, archangels, guides, ancestors, devas, deities, and any other entity that wishes to be a part of this rite, so long as you come in full love and light, I bid you hail and welcome. Seiheki Onshaze again, thank you all for being a part of this healing journey with me. If you have any questions about anything you heard, or you would like to formally sign up for courses with me, feel free to do so at reikireverend.com. That's ReikiReverend.com. Thank you. Love and light.